What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm Brandon. This is Extreme Daily Drivers, and today we're not going to work on the Jeep. We're going to work on the Miata, and actually I've kind of already done the work. But it's important that I go over what happened to this car because I think a lot of people have this issue. And I'm going to tell you what the issue was and how I fixed it. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is our 1991 Mazda Miata that we basically brought back from the dead. And you'll notice under the hood that we don't have a 1.6. No, this is the 1.8 that you'll find out of the 94 to 97 Miatas. And it's kind of stock, but also kind of modified. We did our typical header exhaust sort of setup, but we did take it a step further with the Skunk 2 intake, the larger throttle body, fancy radium fuel rail, and all sorts of stuff that we've done over the couple of years that we've owned this. And since getting this running, we've kind of had an issue that we've never been able to fix until today. And that issue was that when this car was cold, it would start right up, run fine. You could drive it 100 miles, turn it off, and that's when the problem started. Because once you turn that off and you get back in, let's say to fuel up, if you try to start it, you literally have to nail this thing with your foot on the gas the minute it turns over. Because if you miss it, it won't start. It won't start. It'll just go da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. And you have to let it basically cool down, which can take, depending on how hot it is outside, we're here in Florida, I mean, it could take 30 minutes before this thing will start up again. And then once again, when you turn that key and it turns over, you have to get right on that gas to keep it moving. Otherwise, it'll fall on its face again, and you'll be right back to where you were. So this issue, like I said, it's been going on since this car's been running. And we thought it was a tune. And Junior looked at it a bunch of different times, said basically everything was good, gave it a clean bill of health, but we would kind of always run into the issue. And since, you know, this thing's tuned on Mega Squirt, I don't know anything about tuning cars. I just kind of always had in the back of my head like, oh, there's got to be something with that tune, man. There's got to be something with that tune that's causing this issue. So it literally got to the point where we basically weren't driving this. I mean, we would drive it like a 20-minute drive and then come right home because we were afraid that wherever we went, we'd be sitting there. So the car has not really been driven kind of like we want to drive it for fear of it not starting once we need gas or whatever. Actually, I got to the point where I was just leaving the car running while I filled up because I was afraid, again, that I'd get stuck at the gas station. So whenever you have an issue like this, and I always say this to people who will comment on one of my videos saying that they're trying to fix their car and they're trying to do this and they're trying to do that and they can't figure it out, it's not working. I always say that keep at it. I'm sure you'll figure it out because I bet it's something simple. And I stand by that 100%. When you think that like, oh my God, the car won't start, I need a new engine, or my ECU's fried, or, you know, think of whatever, insert whatever end of the world scenario you want to insert there. It's never that, dude. It's like never that. If your engine blew up, you would know it. You wouldn't be wondering if your engine's blown up. It would be blown, all right? So when you have these hiccups, like we did here with the Miata, me kind of like thinking in my head it had something with a tune is me missing the point entirely, right? It was probably something simple, and that's exactly what it was. So over the past year or so, I've been doing all sorts of research trying to find other people that have had this exact same problem. You know, you turn your car on, you drive it around, engine gets hot, turn the car off, you go to start it and it won't start. Now, that could be a bazillion different things, including vapor lock and all sorts of other things that had me second guessing things. One of the big things that I kind of thought was an issue that I did is here on the fuel rail, the fuel injector lines are ran behind the rail up against the intake. And now it's all wrapped and it's in that kind of that fiber tape, which insulates it, prevents it from burning or catching on fire or anything like that. But I was wondering if those wires were getting way too hot, and what was happening is, you know, I'd go drive for 20 minutes, those wires would get way too hot, and then I turn the car off and I go to start it again, and those wires are too hot, so they're not telling the injectors to fire or something like that, and that's what my problem is. So one of the things I was considering doing was moving those wires or insulating them better with some sort of insulation wrap or something like that, because I do like the way it looks. It's way cleaner like this, right? But yeah, so I started going down that rabbit hole, and then I came across something that actually happens with NBs. And what happens is the crank angle sensor, this guy right here, he gets too hot, and as a result, the car won't start. And it had something to do with it's an old piece. The old piece gets too hot. It's older, so things inside of it have broken down over time. When too much heat hits it, it no longer wants to react. So the car doesn't understand the timing. When you go to turn it on, that's why it goes da na 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 na, and it won't fire because things aren't lined up inside here or whatever. But it made me start to focus on this, and I started shopping for a new one. Well, you can't really find a new one. You can only find new used ones, which is what this one is here that I bought off eBay who knows how long ago. And I'm pretty sure it came with the pigtail that, you know, runs down and it's tucked away down here. It's one of the things that I had to rewire when we did the 1.8 conversion. So when I was inspecting this, I noticed something right away, and I was like, dude, that's got to be it. You're gonna notice that pigtail on there is brand new. It was $15 off eBay. I just got it today, and I just installed it today. Let me show you what the old one looked like. This is the old one right here, and you can see those are my splices, all right? There's nothing wrong with those splices. But when I saw this thing stuck on top and the wires were bent back a little bit, check out what's exposed here. So I don't know how well you can see this, but the insulation on that bottom yellow wire is completely broken, and those wires are exposed. And the same thing is going on with the black wire up top. Now, this wiring is close to 30 years old, and to have no insulation and to be, you know, in the engine bay for 30 years cooking in here, those wires have broken down over time, and I guarantee you this is what the issue has been all along in the Miata. So yeah, I wired in the $15 plug today, took this thing out for a 20-minute drive, came back, I got out of it, I turned it off, came inside, washed my hands, came right back outside, and just like that, it fired right back up with no issues. Not only that, it's actually running better too. So that is today's video. Today's video is when things are terrible with your car, whether it's a Miata, Prelude, Jeep Commander, Nissan Sentra, whatever it is that you drive, when things look like it's, I need a new transmission or whatever, stop, take a breath, go on the internet, do some research. Don't go on Reddit. And stay away from Facebook groups too. Sorry, but there's so much bad information, especially on Reddit. You're literally getting advice from 13-year-olds. I mean, I'm dead serious, man. Do not go on Reddit. Do not go on Reddit. So ignore Reddit. Kind of stay away from the Facebook groups. There is some good information on there, but really just try to do some deeper research. Maybe find old forums. If you have a Miata, you go to Miata.net, you start digging through the old stuff, and over time, you'll probably get like a direction to go down. You might not find your exact answer, and that's another issue with everybody on the internet, right? They want the exact answer, right? My car won't start. What's the matter with it? Well, who knows? So you'll probably find a direction to go down like I did with the crank angle sensor, and then just look at it, touch it, get your head under the hood, follow the wires, you know, and you'll probably find your problem, and it's probably stupid and easy to fix. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. I'll be back next week. I think we're putting some springs on a Jeep Commander. That should be pretty cool. I'll see you then, guys. Later.